Hello folks, it is June 2nd, roughly 2 years since Georgie left, and as you can see, she was a great mower. I mean, that cow, it was no wonder she was too fat to be bred. She kept all this eaten to the ground. I made the mistake of pulling the clover that was on either side of this bed to use for mulch around my trees, and well, as you can see, it killed all my clover. So you can't chop and drop clover because it kills it. Note to note, I want to point out that I planted my rose here. Now this is a fragrant delicious or something. Oh my gosh, it smells so yummy. Let's see. It is a Perfume Delight rose that I actually got from Walmart. And I love her. She looks bad, but she's been in a pot for over a year and just got planted. And then this one, don't know if it's gonna make it or not, is one I got from Heirloom Roses, but as you can see, she didn't fare as well in the pot, but she got a lot of shadows, so I'm hoping we can get her to come back. Now this one is the meanest little thing you'll ever meet. It is a Rosa Regustus, and I will plant her this fall. Not now. I've got tomato plants and basil plants planted out here because, oddly enough, tomatoes help roses and roses help tomatoes. So I'm trying this, see what happens. But this rose is not here because she's going to be beautiful. In fact, she's here because she makes the best medicinal rose hips. Now, this one is a white with pink tinge. Again, I know I mistreated my roses. I left them in pots forever. But there's some basil and a tomato. And then we come up here, and this one is my Kiss Me Kate. And there's her tomato plant. And her basil is actually in a container back here. But she's got all kinds of new growth coming off. This is a climbing rose. And I've already picked her blooms and enjoyed them. So excited about her throwing out all this new growth all the way up too. This is her whole 20-foot area, and if she wants more, she can have more. So like I said, Gary came and put in this fence so we could close it off. Yay, thank you, thank you, thank you, Gary. Gary is my daughter's husband. I hate to call him a son-in-law because he is more than, those of you who like the people your children marry, you know what I mean. They're more than an in-law. They are definitely family. So I got to get out here and get the seeds for my peas. I wasn't in love with the flavor of them. I have some more I'm going to try. This is how much rain we got last night. Now I want to point out, I didn't get this much rain in the previous 4 days it rained. So there's that. Let's see. I'm letting poke grow this year, some of them in strategic places, because I want to harvest the berries. My body can tell I didn't get my fill of pokeberries last year. This is the prettiest mullein plant I think I've ever seen. And there is the poke that I'm planning on pulling, you know, harvesting for all this stuff. Now, as you can see, or I don't know if you can see, but I'll tell you now, these these fence things are 10 foot long. So that's 10 foot, that's 10 foot, that's 10 foot. And so these first 20 feet were not part of the original garden. I've just marked them off when we were moving the beds because I wanted them to come forward. And the plan is that this fall, I want to switch. We're going to go ahead and make sure these are straight, and we're going to switch this panel for this panel and flip it so that the door matches up with the door over here, which will give me a nice pathway from west to east. And it will also divide the garden into a 30 by 50 and a 20 by 50. Well, it's because we lose the door thing, it's more like 17 by 50. And then I want to line this fence, which is in the middle, and it goes straight. Once I get the elm tree cut down, it will cut straight to my back door. And then I want a pathway that comes through here, which will be, I think, just on this side of my tomato patch. My brain, being autistic, works certain ways, and the best thing I've done is buy these boards. So this is a 3-foot board, and this is a 4-foot board because my pathways are 3 feet and my garden beds are 4 feet. And I'm going through and marking them off this year. My plan is to get them all done. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 rolls, but I ran out of thread this morning, so I bought enough that I thought would do the whole garden. But the thing is it actually takes more than 30 feet to cover that 30 feet because of the weight. Anyway, whatever. I'm just gonna say that I could take this up and pull it up real taut, or I can step on it, and which I do, or drive my tractor. This is my tractor, folks. It's a 7 cubic foot. Anyway, the only garden I've worked so far has been up to here. This is my tomato patch, which looks pretty bad. And all these are blackberries. And oddly enough, growing so close to my raspberries this year, my raspberries are not tasty. In fact, they almost look like they're dying. So I've got to see whether or not I can rescue them. So the next step in all this is to come through and get this next row cleared out. I'm just doing 1 row at a time. And I have cleaned out enough down here to where I planted, let's see, I have a cucumber. It's a bush cucumber, and a bush cucumber, and a gigantus. So this is 6 foot tall. So she's almost, well, if you look at this one, 3 feet, and I'm just letting her trail up. This is where I'm going to grow my giganti beans every year from now on. And then I have one here, and oddly enough, I think I found one growing in another pot. This one's not so good because of the weeds on the other side were so high it was actually shadowing it. So now that I've gotten it all weeded down, I'm hoping it'll work out. And this is the roll that comes from the path from the door up there. So somewhere it is. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Now this is interesting. I planted it some time ago and it's never really come up. But it is not, I don't think, goldenrod. I don't know what it is. It says clipped goldenrod, but I'll tell you right now, I don't think it is. So we'll see. When it comes up, we'll definitely know. And then there's another bush cucumber. I had melons down here last year, so I don't know how well they're going to do. But they're bushes, and I've just got to go and cut up a bunch of grass and lay around them. so that they have that. And as you can see, I have plenty of grass to cut to bring it up here. And that is my, I mean, it's embarrassing how bad these look. But I have green posts in the ground that show me where it goes to. Let's see. Now, this is, why is it when I'm on camera? It's dog fennel. It's supposed to keep fleas and ticks and mosquitoes away. So what I'm going to do is this year I'm going to pull some up and do something with it. I don't know what my neighbors do, but they've always got some big loud tractor going. Almost always. Very industrial. I'm trying to gather the plastic and put it here so I can get rid of it. Okay, so coming up here, head of my garden, I need to come in, and the butterflies ate my brassicas, but that's okay. This is the last time I'll plant them there. And I found out this morning that strawberries and brassicas aren't supposed to be together. So I'm gonna have to make a whole new bed or do something. I'll figure all that out. Anyway, that's my asparagus bed. And as you can see, there's a whole 10 feet that do not have any growing in it. And it's because I had onions on this side of the bed, not knowing that they were bad. But I have put them in pots. Well, chives, or what I put in pots. I didn't put the onions in pots. I just, you know, wild onions was here. I pulled them out. The other onions were processed. But these I'm going to divide up and put a little bit of these under each of my fruit trees as part of their companions. And this is yarrow, and that's yarrow there. I just harvested my yarrow. It was about 4 foot tall, and I had laid it out on this to dry, and then it poured down rain. We got an inch of rain last night, easy. I mean, you saw the bucket. There's easily an inch of rain in there. And it just, well, it was wet, so I put it in the compost bin. Look at my compost bin. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put a compost bin at each of every row. And then that way when I catch debris, I'll just put it at the end. And since I do this, try to do this the easy way, I'm going to be working with it. That won't give me as far to go. I won't have to move it as much. I had thought about making these rows 3.5 feet, but I lost quite a bit of garden space by doing this. I need to get out here and do the harvesting. It is the time to come out and harvest all the peas and hang them up so they can dry, and then harvest all my broccoli and my cabbage in this batch. As you can see, it's actually, I've got the beds outlined, and then the knot is the pathway. So these are actually growing in my pathway, which is fine for now. But what I'll do is I'll pull all these out and I'll harvest what I can. And I'm gonna make fermented, kind of like kimchi, but fermented cabbage and broccoli. I'll shred the broccoli and shred the cabbage and make me a wonderful, wonderful medicinal slaw that's fermented, cabbagey kind of thing. Y'all saw that I pulled out all my horseradish this year and gave Henry a whole bunch of it. And as you can see, it all grew back. So this fall we're going to try it again and transplant it somewhere it can live happily outside of my garden, or I might put a rope. No, 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 no. Those roots are deadly. I had roots that went all the way down there, and I've been pulling roots out and pulling roots out. Okay, so now, oh my, here's some more of these. I've been trying to get all these up and get them out of my garden. These were what I held all the tarps down with, and most of the ones that were in the ground are so rusty, and I'm out here barefooted. Today is the first day I'm not out barefooted, and today I found 2 or 3 pieces of glass in this row as I was cleaning it up. Now, some of you maybe have watched my videos enough to know that this was my original corn row that I did the Silver Queen, the Peaches and Cream, and the Hopi at the end down there. And then I had Marfat beans planted amongst them, but in my opinion, you can't grow bush beans and corn together. I think everybody probably already knew that, but I thought beans was beans, and I didn't know what kind Marfat was. So this row here, let's go back up here. Anyway, I'm glad I put on my boots this morning. Again, the first time I come out with the gardening boots, so that's pretty interesting. So these are my Marfat beans, and they're finally looking pretty good. All you gotta do, it ain't nothing but a thing to come out here and just pull that up just a little bit and shake it. This year, instead of having tarp or plastic all over everything, I've gone with these pine shavings, and I'm pretty pleased. That's deal, which is supposed to be really good for keeping, I don't use any kind of fertilizer or anything. I use grass. Grass is my fertilizer. And anyway, these are my beans. Deal. I gotta get my hoe up here. Tons of horseradish. More beans. Oh, there's a squash. I don't know what kind it is. When it comes up, I'll tell you. We'll know. And here's a squash, because I had these big empty spots where the beans did not grow. So I'm just sticking stuff in here. Maybe I should go get one of them cucumbers. I don't know. Cucumbers and beans don't go good together. Anyway, dill, beans, squash, beans, potatoes. These are the very first potatoes I planted, and they are German butterballs. They have come back every year as volunteers since I planted them. Now, pulling the weeds around these this year, I think, and I'm not sure, but, well, what I've done is damage the root system, so I don't know if this potato will come back again. But whatever this potato is, when I harvest it this year, I'm going to not eat it. Instead, I'm just going to use it as a seed potato. The little puppy just keeps coming back, so it loves it here. There is some more dill. I just brought my packet of dill seeds that I raised last year and just threw them throughout here. So I don't know where they'll come up and where they won't. Let's see, that is a burdock, yellow burdock, and some grass. And there's a little baby dill, so I don't want to kill that dill. You want to give it a chance to come on up. There's something really satisfying about pulling these out. Now, I did plant, the reason I didn't pull this out is because in the pots that I put these beans in, I had also tried to grow marigolds. And there's always a chance that once it got out here, the marigold decided to grow. And I'm not pulling that up because it's so close to the bean. And if you look, there's another something under that bean. that does the same thing. Let me wipe my hand off a little bit. Let's see, do you see it? I'm hoping it's marigolds, because that one right there is a marigold. They're Aztec marigolds. And Aztec and, oh, look at that bean. Let me go back out. The Aztecs and the French are both really good for nematodes, and they kill nematodes underground. I don't know what nematodes are, but apparently beans don't like them. Anyway, more deal. That is definitely a marigold. And before I figured out that it might be marigolds, I had already pulled a lot of these. But if you look more, I think that's deal. More. Now these, let's see. This is, okay, from here. Oh, look at that. Remember? I didn't know what it was. It's a sunflower. Bird planted. Okay, now, this is the first 10 feet of my garden, and this is what I planted jade green beans in, up till here. So from here to here is jade. When I planted them, they're supposed to mature in 60 days. The Marifats were supposed to do it 120, so I figured these will be good. I can pull them out and plant something else there. And then, lo and behold, it didn't rain, and it didn't rain, and it didn't rain. I want you to look how long and beautiful my yarrow was just gorgeous. Okay, so then I have here in this row, there's the yarrow on the end, and as you can see, she's not quite where she needs to be, but I'm gonna pull her out of this garden, as on the other